Let's talk some news in relation to Child Protection Week. As we all know that this week in South Africa, the Department of Social Development are celebrating Child Protection Day under the theme Working Together to Protect Children. Today is also the first day of Youth Month celebration. South Africa has seen a number of campaigns this year, more so after the spate of killings, rape and kidnapping of children as well as young women here in the country. But how effective are these campaigns? I think that's the main question here. And the protests and the marches that we've seen, do they really bring tangible desired change? We're talking this morning with the Minister of Social Development, Bathabile Dlamini, and she joins us from our studios in Parliament. Minister, it's a very good morning to you and thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning and good morning to the viewers.
Thank you so much, Minister. Let's start with this year's theme. Let us all protect children to move South Africa forward. Talk to us about the theme.
The theme focuses more on child protection by both government as well as families and communities. But also, this year we are going to focus on improving legislation, support services for victims of violence and crime, improve psychosocial support, as well as ensuring that there is a bill that focuses on psychosocial support.
Yeah.
That bill is meant to cover gaps that are in the Domestic Violence Act.
All right. Talking about the legislation, Minister, we know that South Africa has actually drafted legislation that is based on the United Convention of the Rights of the Child as well as the African Charter on the Rights and the Welfare of the Child and the Constitution as well. How far are we?
In as far as that, we are doing very well in terms of commitments. But what is more important is to implement programs that are going to squarely deal with the issues of violence against women and children, but also empower our communities to provide services and ensure that the services that are provided are professional, they are strengthened, and we have to reduce the coordination and ensure that it's strengthened, because right now we have 55 structures that are dealing with the issues of violence against women and children. But also, just the processes, for instance, in court,
yeah,
we have to ensure that they provide a full support for the victims.
All right, Minister, the week is being observed this year, you know, in the wake of the spate of killings, rape and kidnapping of children, as we have seen. And stats indicating, on the other hand, that 1 in 5 children in the country falls victim to physical, emotional or sexual abuse. What is your department doing to address the problem that the country is currently facing?
The first area is that as the department, we have services like early childhood development. It's very important for parents to take children to early childhood development centers. But secondly, we have a program called SABC, and that program supports children that stay in child-headed households. And the third program is a program that provides support for abused children as well as women, which is white door services, which is a temporary support for women.
Yeah.
But also we have to strengthen more particularly psychosocial services.
All right. But these annual campaigns like your Child Protection Week, do they really bring any tangible solutions that we need?
They do, because the media during this week and leading to this week reports about the incidents of violence against children. But also, one of the disadvantages we have found out is that the statistics we are using are based on the cases that are reported to the police. And we are trying to develop a different indicator, because this is not a good tool to establish a violence, because in some of the families they don't report violence because it happens within the family environment. It's perpetrated by people that are close to families, that are family members, that are trusted by victims.
Yeah, Minister, talking about the statistics, my apologies, I've got to come in there. We were supposed to speak to the South African Gender-Based Violence and Health Initiative, because now their main concern is that they do research on these matters and cases. They provide data and recommendations about child and women abuse to Parliament, but it falls on deaf ears. What do you have to say on that issue?
I don't... Okay, let me say that we are going to establish that firstly. But secondly, this year the ruling party has proposed that there should be a summit that is going to focus on violence against women and children.
Okay, let me just...
We believe that this gives us a better opportunity to deal with such issues and have a multi-pronged strategy to deal with violence against women and children.
All right, let me just pose my question to you in this manner, Minister. What is your cooperation like with the NGOs? Because the South African Gender-Based Violence and Health Initiative is an NGO. They're very concerned that they do their research, they provide data and recommendations, but nothing happens with what they do. So talk to us about your cooperation with the NGOs.
As social development, we work with NGOs. And we've been talking to them previous years, and also this year we are going to talk to them, and our main focus has been the funding of the NPOs, NGOs and CPOs, and on a yearly basis, when the report on the status of children is presented, we are always there as the Department of Social Development, and the improvements we have been making are based on the research that we've been receiving from NPOs. And it's important to say that the work that the government is doing right now is based on the recommendations that are made by NPOs to us and researchers, as well as government policy makers.
All right, Minister, in conclusion, talk to us about the programs that are prepared for this week, the Child Protection Week. What programs does government have?
We started at Gwalanga, but we are very set about the passing on of one young woman the same weekend, where we trying to say to the community of Kwalanga, please wake up. Violence against children and women in this area is high. And then the next place we are going to is Lusigisigi.
Okay.
Or Lusigisigi. And then we are also going to have a program around there to focus on Ugutwala. But there are other problems that are developing around there. Right. But throughout the country, provinces are having campaigns that are focusing on child protection.
All right, Minister, we'll leave it at that, but thank you so much for talking to us here on Morning Live. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. There you have it. That's a Social Development Minister, Bathabile Dlamini, talking to us about Child Protection Week and, of course, how far has the government come in terms of addressing the issues in relation to abuse and violence that the children in South Africa face. It's 6:30. It's time for your news.